So you mentioned in the show, I want to make sure I get the words right. It says, y'all gonna get it today. What exactly were they about to get?
Your name and age.
Y'all gonna get it today.
Hi, I'm Shaylin and I'm 30.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the I'm Just Here to Listen podcast. I'm your host, Juming, Delmas, and on today's episode, we have a very, 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 very special guest by the name of Bryan Cahn. You all know him. You've seen him from all over. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to miss this one. In the meantime, I'll see you guys on the show.
I'm just here to listen. Podcast bringing the best in music, sports, theater, and live on television. Listen. So intentional with the message, imagery, representation. Don't need a second guess it. Listen. No talking, level surface, reverse it. It's encrypted on purpose. Listen. Juming and the team so grateful. Each week we deliver to the faithful. I'm just here to listen.
Okay, so hey everybody, and welcome to the show. You know what I mean? I got your boy Bryan Cahn. Is it pronounced Cahn?
Cahn. Yeah.
Cahn. What you want me to call you on the show, bro?
Just Bryan. Bryan is fine.
Bryan. Everybody know you as Bryan. You the pop the balloon. You the pop the balloon guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I've said, man, you look a little smaller in the camera here, man. You on. I don't know if it's true when they say camera add 10 pounds when you was on the show. You look like I was like, man, this dude like a bulldog. Oh, you gotta do that one more time because you just trying to do the most right now.
No.
You didn't have to scratch. That shoulder was not itching. You just lying.
Yeah. The camera do add a few pounds for but
yeah, man.
For the most part.
You known for going viral, bro. Like for the pop the balloon. Like, did you ever like see yourself blowing, the way you did from the top pop the balloon?
I didn't, man, because initially I was on episode 12, which was I was in the lineup, and honestly, man, I went there to find somebody to find a match, but obviously it didn't work out that way. But episode 12 was the first episode. Nah, man, I didn't think it'll take off the way it did. I'm not the type of person to be online, going live or making videos constantly.
Yeah, you did go on there looking for love though, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I'm not that fluent with content creating, man. I'm really not. I'm really not that knowledgeable on even how to work the camera and everything like that. But no, I didn't think it was going to be like that.
Yeah, man. When it comes to the camera, all you got to do is hit record. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's
what they're telling
me.
That's what they're telling me. I think I just got to get out of that that feeling of just talking to strangers, I guess. I don't know, but
that's a good point. Do you like ever go out in public and people are like, "Hey, you the dude from Pop Balloon"? Do you get that now?
Yeah, man, I get that, man. After episode 15, man, it's really everywhere I go. No matter what city I might be in, somebody's gonna notice me. You know what I mean? And it's a good feeling. And I think it's a good feeling because of what I went viral for. It wasn't no clown stuff. It was just something that that everybody can relate to. And it was basically me challenging a culture. And it would be the same if it was the other way around. I mean, if I got multiple baby mamas, women they're not gonna date me, so I just put it out there, man, and I was just being authentic and I was just being myself, really. But everywhere I go, man, people notice me. That's why I gotta watch where I go, and I gotta watch what I do.
Would you hang out with me if we saw each other bumping into each other in the road? Would you? If we saw each other at Walmart or something, would you be like, "Hey, man, come to the crib"? Would you let me come over?
I hang out with you, man. You in Florida, man. That's a good state. You know what I mean? There's beaches everywhere.
Well, I'm nowhere near any beaches. Where I live at is a lot of woods.
Okay, where you at?
If I disclose that, people gonna find out where I'm at, and then they're gonna come hunt me down.
Okay.
Maybe I'll text you that in the text message or something. We could talk about it in the text.
That's cool.
But if you saw me in Walmart or something, I was, I'd be like, "Hey, would you invite me to your crib?"
Probably not. Probably not.
So you would consider us not friends then?
Nah, I wouldn't consider us friends.
So what do I got to do to be close friends with you, Bryan?
Man, it's just really doing a lot of business. You know what I mean? Doing a lot of business. Making some things happen as far as on the business side.
So I got to
really
bring you
just-
some more money.
That's a first step.
So you buying my friendship.
Not
I'm
really.
buying my friendship.
Not really. It just makes it connectable.
I haven't gotten to that point where people buy friendships, but I'm buying all my friends right now. So I don't know how we're gonna sit. But if I saw you in Walmart, I would invite you to like a barbecue in a public place because I don't know how you're gonna react.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
There will be a lot of women, so you might get jumped.
I might get jumped, man. Hey, man, the way it's been going, man, I might get jumped, man.
Do women throw themselves at you now that like ever since the like pop the balloon incident? Do you get more women, or you feel like they ain't coming no more?
No, it's a lot of women. I wouldn't say they're throwing themselves at me, but they're making themselves readily available. I will say, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Are you dating now?
I'm dating now. Casual dating is nothing serious. But if I get invited out to a date, or if I see some beautiful lady, then I might invite her to a date or something like that. But yeah, I'm actively seeking.
Do like the women you talk to, do they recognize you before you approach them? Like, oh, you the dude from Pop the Balloon? I'll still date you, kind of thing.
Most of them do. Yeah, most of them do. And then obviously during that date, then I have to clarify a lot of things, and then it just goes from there. But yeah.
Okay, I would like to stroll down memory lane with you from some of the highlight scenes of the very first Pop the Balloon, because this is when most of us was first introduced to you, because we all kind of saw you come in. Nobody knew who you were. If you pay attention to the very first episode that you were on, no one liked Pop, so they all was somewhat attracted, and then you started talking, and then it started sounding like firecrackers in there.
Yeah.
Just I ain't know. And you wasn't ducking or moving, and the pop balloons don't phase you. That's
hey, they don't phase me now, man. I'm used to that pop sound,
Man, whoa. I would have been scared every time a balloon popped. If I walked in to pop the balloon and there was 10 women lined up, how many women do you think would pop my balloon just off first sight?
Probably at least half. Probably at least half. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it had nothing to do with you. It got everything to do with them and why they popping. So remember that. It's nothing to do with you. It's everything to do with them.
So why would they pop? Why would half those women? That's 5 women popping my balloon as soon as I walk in.
Man, it's lights, camera, action, man. You know what I mean? And when that happens, a lot of those women become authentic. You know what I mean? And it's just doing it for clout or whatever the case may be. But a lot of them, they're not serious, man. You know what I mean? But most of them come in there for entertainment. But I would say it's a lot of people that's coming there for the real thing, to find love. But
like
it's just something
percentage wise, what would you
action.
say the percentage? What would you say the percentage of women coming in there for love? Like what? 20%, 80%?
I would say it's about a good 70%. Not a good 70.
Are actually coming for love?
Yeah.
So 7 women out of the 10 women are coming for love.
Yeah, I would think so.
And the other 3 are coming for clout.
I would think so. Definitely. I mean, everybody know, if you're a fan of the show like I am, they're on episode 55 right now, or 56. And you can just go back and binge watch it, and you can just tell who's serious and who aren't, Unfortunately,
do you think like you're most dudes heroes for the most part?
I do think I'm starting to believe that now, man, because it's kind of one of them situations to where I'm speaking for the people who don't really have a voice, or who really don't have a platform to express how they feel. They do you like that? What's wrong with them?
Something. Only God knows.
Or is there something wrong with you?
Possibly, but I think I'm just fine.
Okay. How many kids you have?
I have 2.
How many baby daddies?
2.
2? Okay. So you didn't think after the first one that you wanted to marry the next one?
No.
No? Okay.
I was just asking because for real men, that's what matters. Your first one is given. Your second one, the mistake is on you.
Oh, is it? Well, there's
That's definitely
circumstances
right.
under why I got
That's
pregnant.
definitely
but
right.
That's nor here or there, and that's not what I'm here for.
Okay, definitely. You're a beautiful woman, though.
Thank you.
But I respect your answer. The reason for me asking their past about the baby daddies because it lets me know where they're going in their future. If you didn't want to have a baby daddy for the second time, then that lets me know that you was uncareful of what you're dealing with.
Do you necessarily believe that somebody's past is their past that don't determine their future?
Not,
Because I mean, I can look at you and say like you made people make mistakes. And it could happen. I feel like once or twice, okay, some things become a choice, but your past doesn't determine.
When it comes to once is a mistake. Twice, that's on you.
Okay, so then say like you get into a relationship with somebody, you get married, and things don't work. So then I guess you made a mistake, and then so you once is a mistake, and then twice is. I don't believe in that because I believe things happen.
Sweetheart, twice is on you.
Okay,
you should have learned from that very first mistake. Okay, and not saying that. Okay. So there's 4 billion women on the planet. I'm a black American from Louisiana. I have the choice to have the pick of the litter. I really don't have deal breakers, right? Because I'm from the ghetto, so I understand that, we do a lot of things in our past and in our youth that is really a problem.
You would agree you got some deal breakers.
I got some deal breakers, man. But let me tell you, man, that was a good way to say, I don't really have any deal breakers though. Honestly, you know what I mean? I want to give you grace. I don't really want to judge you for your past. But let me tell you, man, when a balloon start popping and they giving these superficial reasons, all right. Okay, back to the drawing board. Let me just go ahead and get it out the way.
I mean, most of them, you feel like most of them was like popping just because other girls was popping, or you feel like they just
I think the one in the purple dress, and you can tell on the clip how she looked around and then she popped her balloon. You know what I mean? But now, episode 15, I don't think they was following the leader. I think that it was a sensitive topic, especially the one in the pink. The one in the pink there, you know what I mean? Like she just wanted to clarify, and what's crazy is she only had one child. So it's kind of like, you wanted to say some things or you wanted to speak for other women when they don't even apply to you. So, that was kind of crazy too. But yeah.
Well, just looking at the lineup before, I mean, you couldn't get through them really like that. Was any of them women like your type at all? Just physically?
I would say the first one, the cowgirl, the one that had the blue denim with the cowgirl hat. She was my type.
Everybody else was just kind of like not. Is that why you like went in so hard? Because you already knew you weren't gonna be with them anyway. So is that moment you might as well be 100 with them?
I think after that, I think the second woman that popped was the one that had multiple baby daddies, and she had a superficial reason talking about my jeans was too tight, my pants was too tight. So I was like, all right, I see where this about to go. So let me just ask her some questions. You know what I'm saying? I want the audience to know who's rejecting me. And then when I asked her those questions, man, that was really pretty much it, and I think that was.
Do you feel like your jeans was too tight though?
Definitely not. They wasn't skinny jeans. They was fitted jeans,
So why would she mention that? Why would she cap in a situation like that? I don't understand.
Bruh, I really don't know. You know what I mean? I really don't know. But I mean, it did what it did after that. That's what she chose to use as a deal breaker. So we all can see that it backfired on her in the worst way. So
your biggest issue with these women, which none of them was your type anyway. So at this point, you could just go Rambo on them and just start
the first
executing.
one, the first
except
one was.
the first one.
Yeah, the first one was.
So what's like for you? Because the baby daddy was the issue. What's like the maximum number of kids a woman can have from like one man for you to be like, I'm in?
I would 2.
What if she had 3 and she was everything you wanted?
Then it's a possibility that I still would date her. Because I'm at that age.
What if she had 4?
41. 4? No, that's too much.
But she was everything you wanted.
I still have to pass. Because obviously, I only have one daughter right now, so I still want some more kids. So I want to make
You
some
want more
kids.
kids at 41?
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure.
Damn, you gonna be damn
Not
near
too
60
many.
when she 18.
I mean, I know. Not too many though. You know what I mean? Like two more. So
Like, okay, like what age is like cut off for you? You like, all right, I'm done. I can't have no more kids. I'm done.
oh man, I'm calling that at like 45.
So you on a time crunch.
I'm on a time crunch right now. You know. So
Does a woman's body count matter for you?
yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. It does.
Like for you, like I mean, you're 41. What's the youngest you would date?
The youngest I would date, I think, 28.
Okay, so a woman that's 28, between 28 and 40, what's the maximum number of body counts that you would expect? Like, hey, this is maximum. Anything above that, I can't really deal with it.
You know, it's funny, man, because I wouldn't even ask a woman her body count, to be honest. You know, I don't think I would even ask. You know, I don't think that's my business. But if she would like to share that information, then we can talk about it. Now, if she, you know, if she a porn star or something, then that ain't gonna work. You know what I mean?
But she may not be a porn star. She just might.
She might have a lot of mileage, huh?
Like a car, you know. What would like if she was open to that? And so in your situation, as long as you don't know, you don't know. But would you think that it'd be easier to tell a woman, even if she don't tell you her body count? You think it'd be easier to identify a woman with a high body count versus a woman with a low body count?
Yeah, I think it's easy to identify. I think you can just tell by a woman's energy and her aura, you know, how she's rolling. So yeah, I don't think it would be hard to identify that. That's why I say I wouldn't really even ask. You know, I feel like that's not my
So
business.
you wouldn't mind if she had like 25. You, as long as you don't know, you good.
I wouldn't. Honestly, I would. To keep it real, if I was to find that out, then probably that'd be bad. But you know, if I don't know, I don't know. You know.
If you looking back on this video that we just looked at, you were pretty, you know, straightforward. Do you think that if you could do it all over again, would you say anything nicer?
Probably not. Probably not, because I think that I really didn't say anything wrong. For the most part, you know, I'm just saying what every guy's thinking. They just not saying it.
Yeah, because we're afraid they're women.
Right. Well, you know,
Like,
afraid of what? Afraid of what? Why are you afraid? Why would men be
because she
afraid?
gonna leave us. Because they're gonna leave us.
Well, if they leave, then they leave. And see, and this is why this generation right now that we living in, bro, is tough. You know what I mean? Because people can't make it through the tough times. So you telling me if you say something that's on your mind, the women are gonna leave us? They're gonna leave you? If you say something on your mind, you think they're gonna leave you?
For sure.
So why is she with you? Why you think?
Well, because she loves me, Bryan.
Okay. Well, if she loves you, then she won't leave you for saying something. Would you agree?
Well, that's why guys have to be careful what they say, because you can't like go around and tell a woman she's big. You can't just be like, hey, sweetheart, I think you look big in that outfit. She don't feel the type of way. Or
I would just,
if she in my face kissing me and her breath stink, don't. I'm not say.
well, I mean, I think that's some of the things that men should say, you know, and honestly, that's not a disrespectful thing, right? We all have bad breath at times. Sometimes we all getting overweight at times. Like, I don't really feel like that's a problem for a breakup.
So how would you address it? How would you tell a woman like she getting too big or her breast thing? How would you tell her that?
I probably wouldn't tell her breast stink. I would just offer her some Mentos or something. You know what I'm saying? I would just offer her some Mentos or something. I'll take one myself and I would just offer. Would you like some? You know, and then
Why would you do that?
you know what the woman gonna say. What you trying to say? My breath stink? I'm not trying to say that. I just was offering you a mint. You know what I mean? So
But you just reverted back. So you ain't gonna tell her that because you know you ain't worried about her leaving you. So why would you not tell her that a breath stink when a breath stink?
I mean, I think it's situational. You know what I mean? I think it's situational, but I definitely would tell a woman her breath stink. I definitely would. You know what I mean? I definitely would. And
How
I
would you
would
tell her her
definitely tell
breath
a
stink?
woman,
She kissing you, she all up on you. How would you say your breath stink? How would you break it down to it easy or hard?
I would say, damn, baby, what you been eating? Why your breath stink? Like, but let me tell you, if she's in my face and she's kissing me, then you know, I probably don't care how her breath smells. If I'm allowing her to kiss me, then she might be that my match or something. So it really don't matter. I love it when it stink. I love it when it smells good, baby. It don't matter. You know. So, but now if you want to talk about the overweight, then it's about how you tell it to a woman. You know what I mean? Like so.
But I need advice on that because if I got a woman that's overweight and I've been with her for years, and I'm like, okay, how would
baby,
you
you getting too big.
break down?
Baby, you getting too big. Baby, you getting too big. What's
You
up?
say it just like that?
Just like that. That dress ain't
Mm.
fitting the same.
She gonna say, what you mean by that?
I mean, you got to slim down. All that eating out we doing ain't helping us.
You don't think she gonna leave you for that?
Nah, she wouldn't leave me for that. She wouldn't leave me for that. You got to understand, women love honesty, man. They respect that too. You know what I mean? That's why I got a big fan base, bro. Like, they respect honesty. Don't
I
get
think you
caught
got
up
a
in the
big fan
negative
base because you're
comments.
authentic, not because you're honest. I think once you get in a relationship, I don't think honesty works well for men.
Well, mm, that's a tough call, but you know, I think honesty always prevails over anything, really. They need to know they need to know that they can trust you 100% of the time, man.
How do you take criticism?
I take it very well, man. And that's a good question because you know, it was criticizing my height, right? And you heard a lot of, oh, he got Napoleon complex. You heard a lot of that. And but the thing about it is, man, it's kind of like if I really had an insecurity about my height, then I would be trying to slide and hurry up and get out of there. I was challenged in their responses.
I don't know. You're a little spicy on the internet. You said some not nice things to me, so.
Oh, to you directly?
Yeah, I just feel like it was just after a catch up or something. We just had an interesting interaction, and I just didn't like the way you handled me on the internet. I thought it was a little rude.
Okay. So, Bryan, anything you want to say? And is she also someone that's your type?
I mean, she looks good, right? But I think I would pass.
That's fair.
The thing you're speaking about on the internet, you called me sassy in the comments. I really didn't appreciate that. I thought that was disrespectful, right? And I said something back to you, and that was pretty much it. Really. But if I was up here talking about your weight, if I was up here talking about the weave, the lashes, and everything like that, then it would go
from my head.
I'm just saying. Just saying. If you feel like I'm less of a man because I'm shorter than the 6 feet,
I
then
didn't say
that's a
that. You
problem.
said that. All I said was I didn't like your height for me. That was my preference. That was it.
I understand. I mean,
I
it's
wish you
cool,
well,
but
though.
I'm just, it's always the second or third one talking about height. So I just want to bring it to the forefront about what's the problem with that. What's the fixation y'all women have with height, preference and all that. Listen, I got enough confidence and enough prosperity to be able to stand taller than the tallest guy in the room.
What you did on your previous episodes was distasteful to me, but I wanted to give you a chance to come out here and interact with you myself. I actually wanted to answer one of your questions, which is why I had my balloon unpopped. But you got, I won't say sassy, you got defensive with her, and I didn't appreciate that, and I feel like you were like that on the previous episodes, and I saw it in real life.
That's not you. That's a whole nother woman. So you a girl's girl?
Define girl's girl.
Oh, you a girl's girl. You
Define
know exactly
Down here. Your name and age.
Y'all gonna get it today.
Hi, I'm Shaylin, and I'm 30.
You a follower, love.
Keep it cute,
You
buddy.
worrying about what I'm telling the next woman. You a follower.
Here you go. Are you
Worry
with
about what
women
I tell
again?
you.
So you would agree in this episode, like height was the primary reason why a lot of them popped their balloon. How tall are you?
5'7".
Like, what does your license say?
5'7".
How many inches is that? You would agree that, like, do you agree that they popped it because of your height?
Yeah, I think it was the reasons that they gave. It was height, and it was also previous episodes. Yeah.
I think most of it was previous episodes.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why I kind of was saying, I brought up the whole girl thing and followers and everything like that. Because it's kind of like saying, like, what did I ever say wrong in previous episodes? So it's just one of them type of situations where
I think it was just the aggression that most people were feeling. But they always saying it was your height. Is there such thing as a too tall woman for you? If so, like, what's the tallest woman you would date?
the tallest woman I would date probably 5'10", probably 5'10".
So you okay with a woman towering over you?
Just because I'm just so small and little, I want someone just big. Okay. That makes sense.
Okay. You want somebody to tower over you?
Okay.
Is that what it is?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay with tall women. I like tall women, right? There's more to play with. You know what I'm saying? There's more to play with. But let me tell you, let me say this right now though. It's a fact that tall men don't date tall women. That's a fact. And I wish I would have said that to the one in the black dress.
I'm copping out. It's because you're short.
Okay.
And I don't like men that argue with women. Okay. All that going back and forth is crazy.
Okay.
Because she was really on some, I'm copping out because you short. And what I should have said was, I'm sorry that you being looked over by tall men. Because tall men usually don't date tall women, which I think is crazy, but you always see somebody that's 6'4" and they're dating somebody that's 5'2", 5 feet, 5'3", something small. So.
Like the first girl who said she wants somebody towering over her.
Sydney. Right. That's
so
why
you believed her when she said she wanted somebody towering over her?
I definitely didn't believe her. You know what I mean? I definitely didn't believe her. She also said she wasn't physically attracted to me too. So,
did you believe any of the women? Anything that any of those women were saying? Anything?
I when they talked about previous episodes, then yeah, you know what I mean? I can see why they might not want a man that's telling it like it is. I get it. Because like I said in previous episodes, there's nothing I said that was wrong. And I could have elaborated with these women and say, well, tell me what I said wrong. I could have, but that would have extended the segment probably a little too long.
So the girl in the pink, she was holding on to her balloon for dear life. And then the moment you said something along the lines of, now, if I would have said something about your weight when you was talking to the girl with the red hair, he was like, now, if I had said something about your weight, then I would have been wrong. Then the girl like pop. Do you think her reasonings was valid? Because she said it wasn't the height for you. She just wanted to give you a chance or give you a shot. You think that even if you didn't say that, she still would have engaged in you, or you would have walked away with her?
And so for me, I wanted to hear you out because I did have a prefix judgment of you, but I wanted to hear you out. And then that interaction kind of confirmed what I prejudged.
So you a girl's girl?
Define girl's girl.
Oh, you a girl's girl. You know exactly what that means.
No, define girl's girl.
You a girl's girl. You would choose a woman before you choose a man. That's what that means.
Oh, yes.
I don't think I would have walked away with her. I think she wanted airtime, honestly. I think she was waiting for the perfect moment to pop the balloon, and that was her perfect moment. But no, I think obviously she's a girl's girl. She said it on the show. You know what I mean? So she was going to follow just exactly what they was doing. She was just waiting.
To be fair, that was the first time I ever heard of girls. Like even when I first heard that, when you said it, I didn't know what that was. Maybe could you like explain what that actually is?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I explained it on the show because she said, well, what does that mean? And you can see on the video, I said, you know exactly what that means. You're a girl's girl. So you would choose a woman before you choose a man in any aspects of a situation, whether it's dating, whether it's who's right, who's wrong, you're just going to be a girl's girl. And what's so funny, man? Justin LeBoy, he right after the show, he posted a caption post like he always do. Are you a girl's girl? And I just thought that was so funny. You know what I mean? So the things that I'm saying and the topics that I'm bringing up, they're trending and they're making waves on the internet, man.
So could you give me like an example of like a situation of a girls, like as a girl, you arguing with your girl and she go tell her friends behind your back and they agreeing with her. Is that considered a girl's girl?
Definitely. It's about taking sides. You know what I mean? No matter if it's right or wrong. So even if a woman is wrong about something, obviously her best friend is going to ride with her, to the very end, and that's sort of like a girl's girl,
So what do you do about when you meet a woman and you find out that she has friends that are girls? Like, how do you address that?
I first I ask, you know what I mean? I ask. And because if you went into the comments, some of the comments, there's a lot of women that was like, I'm definitely not a girl's girl. I'm definitely not a girl's girl. But I would just ask them how many friends they have and how are their friends and how close they are with their friends. And it might be a situation to where I would ask them, a girl's girl type of situation. I would play it out and ask them, what would you think about this? Or what would your friends actually say about that? So, but I think naturally, man, women are girls anyway. It's just situational,
So when you find out you meet a woman and you find out that her friends are girls, you continue to pursue it or you just gonna let it go?
I mean, I would continue to pursue it because I want to see if she's the way that her friends are. And usually, they flock together, but then, you just want to be, you just want to be understood with that. You know what I mean? So, I would definitely.
So girls really don't matter for you then?
They matter, man, because in situations where, let's just say a dating situation, they're always going to matter because it influences women to do things that she really don't want to do. Right. And it's kind of like following the crowd, so that whole girls girl thing is just,
But why would you want to date a woman who's got girls friends if you don't really like girls? Like, why not just be like, all right, I'm done. I ain't even testing that. I'm done with that. So that means you're kind of open to girls.
It's situational. You know what I mean? It's just situational. It's really about what the topic is that we're discussing, really, to be honest. It's about that because like I said, naturally, all of them are going to always side with a woman because that's who they are. That woman power thing is real out here, man.
So what if she just be like, all right, look, I love you and everything, but if I ever had to come down to it, it'll be my friends before you.
Ooh.
Like,
no way. Where my balloon at? I'm popping that. No way.
So but what if, okay, so, they say, there's a saying that says, never believe what they tell you, believe what they show you. What if she tells you, for an example, like, you come before my friends, but her actions show that her friends come first? Like, what would you do then? Would you still?
Oh, man, I'm still popping on her. I'm popping my balloon on her. I'm removing myself from that entanglement.
What does that mean? What's an entanglement?
I don't know. Whatever Jada Pinkett was talking about, an entanglement. You know what I mean? A situation to where you with somebody and it's not 100%. If you with somebody and y'all just, sharing each other, but not really together.
I call that a situationship.
Yeah. I guess entanglement is something. I think it's the same, but it's just a different term.
So you mentioned in the show, I want to make sure I get the words right. It says, y'all gonna get it today. What exactly were they about to get?
Your name and age.
Y'all gonna get it today.
Hi, I'm Shaylin and I'm 30.
Y'all about to get the truth. Y'all about to get the truth. You know what I mean? That's basically y'all about to get the truth. Y'all about to get this reaction to whatever their response was. Y'all gonna get it today. It could be anything though. You can apply that phrase to anything in life. You can apply it to news. You can apply it to information. communication. So it just came out like that, man. It was like, y'all gonna get it today. Nah, I'm all on. Like, it was 10 women, man. So it felt like a long time to get all the way down towards the end. And when I said it on the show, I said it around these women who I could feel their energy just was like, they was ready to let me have it. You know what I mean? So when I said that, it was like, all right, come on. Cause I can tell this part of the lineup is different from the front half of the lineup. So that's kind of how it came out. You know what I mean? Y'all gonna get it today. Which I feel like was kind of funny. And honestly, I feel like I went light on them even after saying that.
So if you can go hard, what would you really have said overall? Like in a nutshell, what would you have said in a nutshell?
Honestly, bro, going hard is really like up there just clowning them, roasting them like everybody else do on the show. But I've always kept my integrity intact, man. And I'm really not coming for that. You know what I mean? I'm not really trying to come here to judge anybody's appearance or try to roast them or get a good laugh. That never been me. But I think going hard, that's what it would have been.
But to be fair, that on Pop the Balloon, that's probably the best lineup of women they've ever had. Like, for the most part, the majority of those girls were fairly attractive. So I don't think you would have had much to say about their appearance.
Right, exactly. And if I did have something to say bad about their appearance, then bruh, I would have been wrong all the way. But if you noticed, I gave all of them compliments. When Arlette asked me, you know, is she your type? Yeah, she a catch. You know, definitely. She's hot. You know what I mean? I would date her. I would approach her. And that was mostly all of them on the lineup. Probably not 3 of them, but and I said that on the show. So I definitely
which 3 wasn't just your type?
It was the so I would say it was the one towards the end, one in the white dress, the one next to her in the pink dress with the boxed eyebrows. Hey, let me tell you something, man. Listen, them eyebrows was pretty wide. You dig? I've never liked boxed eyebrows on a woman. Like, it's just artificial.
So that's a deal breaker for you too?
Definitely, it's a deal breaker. Yeah. You know, boxed eyebrows like that.
But that could be fixed.
It could be fixed, but when you walk around like that, when you have a whole ½ inch that's just drawn on, nah, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. So if they can be so superficial about the height, then we could be superficial about the makeup that you apply when it's not even looking right, you know? You think? So and to be fair, bro, them boxed eyebrows been gone a long time ago, man. You know what I mean? So some women have big heads, man, and she had a big head. So she had to level out her eyebrows to make it match. You know what I'm saying? I get it. You know, but see, once the camera panned to her eyebrows, it humbled her real quick.
What'd you think about the girl in the black dress all the way at the end?
I think I mean, initially she wasn't really my type. That's what I said on the show. But, you know, sometimes you can't just always go for your type. So I asked her, you know, where you from? Because I can tell it was an accent. And she was like, I popped my balloon already.
Is she someone that's your type?
Not really. But where you from?
I popped.
Not really. She's not really my type, no. She's another follower, a girl's girl.
That
pissed you off. That pissed you off when she said
another
that.
follow. It didn't piss me off, but it kind of like, it was like, okay, you know what I mean? Because I could feel her energy. Her energy was good. You know what I mean? Like, you can feel these women energy and how they looking at you. You can see it all in their eyes. She was very sweet. She was very sweet, but her response was actually, I liked her response when she was like, if we're out together and you're that way, and I'm like, baby, chill. Like, that was a genuine response, you know what I mean? And I respect that. But then she still bowed out, you know what I mean? She was the only African born woman up there. So I didn't think that she was going to be a follower to Black American women, you know, but I think she didn't want to be left out. You know what I mean? So it's kind of one of those type of situations, but yeah. But she was sweet.
Yeah, based off of like just your culture or what you believe, what's like the most disrespectful thing that a woman could do to you that you could be like completely disrespectful? Because like the girl in the white, she said something about, you being sassy and you said that was disrespectful.
Bryan, anything you want to say? And is she also someone that's your type?
I mean, she looks good, right? But I think I would pass.
That's fair.
The thing you're speaking about on the internet, you called me sassy in the comments. I really didn't appreciate that. I thought that was disrespectful.
Like, what do you consider like disrespectful? Like the most disrespectful thing?
I think the most disrespectful thing is to say that one of the things is to call a man sassy, right? Because what are you trying to say? You know what I mean? Are you questioning my masculinity? What are you saying by that? You know what I mean? And that's why we give responses like we do when women call men sassy, and they know for sure that that's like one of the utmost disrespect, right? Is to call a man sassy or to question his masculinity, especially on a global YouTube channel. Like, what are you trying to say? You know what I mean? Even with the girl in episode 15, the one with the multiple baby daddies, when she said, I don't like your pants. I think your pants are too tight. But if you kept watching, she also said, you know, nowadays there's a lot going on. And it's like, well, what is that supposed to mean? You know what I mean? That is a lot going on these days. And then you implying to that I have tight jeans on. So the utmost disrespect that a woman could say towards any man is just to question his masculinity, you know, or to call him sassy, because that's still the same thing. You're just wording it differently, you know?
Would you consider that like talking back or something? How do you feel about a woman like talking back or something?
Well, a woman, she have to express herself. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have a problem with a woman talking back. Like, that's nothing is wrong.
So
with
maybe
that.
she was just expressing herself with the sassy thing. That was her way of expression.
Well, but we already know that's superficial. We already know we in this social media age where we see that a lot in the comments, and we see a lot of women calling men sassy. Like, that's very disrespectful. Like, you know, so, and it's kind of like, if you're still using it, if it's a trending word on social media so heavy, why are y'all so using it so much? They're hurt, man. You know, they're hurt by the truth.
You don't think it has nothing to do with it? They just don't like you?
I just think it's a disrespectful word. You know what I mean? To call a man sassy, like, and I think so. Yeah, it has a lot to do with them not liking me. So they're gonna use that word to say, this how we gonna describe you. So
what's another word she could have used that would have been all right with you?
I think some of them said it. You know, you're very argumentative. You up here arguing with the women. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're going back and forth. You know, there's ways you can say it without, you know, putting that term out there like that, as far as that it could be something different. But
so it didn't work out for you on the first time you came on to the show. It didn't, and it also didn't work out for you for the second time. Why'd you come back?
Because I think it was enough time had passed. That was episode 15, and then the last episode was episode 55. So you know, they do them every week. So that was 40 weeks and 40 episodes ago. But also to redeem myself and to come back and see if it can work out again, really. You know what I mean? Because and to test the waters, you know, to see if, you know, women are still stuck on the past of what I said, or to see if I could actually find a match, and to pretty much kind of see where it would go from there. But I wanted to come back, man, because I think it you know, to redeem myself and to kind of explain from the previous episode, which I really never got to explain it on that episode. But especially them giving their answers that they did you on previous episodes. So I could have indulged in it and asked for feedback. But what did I say on previous episodes? So that's one of the things I wish I would have said. Like, tell me what was wrong, you know, and I could have led by that rather than, you know, just telling them they gonna get it today.
I mean, that was like the viral moment for you, because most people thought that me and you was about to get ready to beat that. That's how I was like, oh shoot, I think one of them really about to get it. And you also mentioned oftentimes in your conversation, top tier man. Like, what for you? Like, what's considered a top tier man? Like, what are the attributes of a top tier man? I Googled it and I couldn't find it.
I think the attributes of a top tier man is, first, man, it's about believing that you are top tier. That's first and foremost, right? Because you can't expect somebody else to call you a top tier man. But if you want to just talk about the basics that people would understand, I mean, I would say, your accomplishments, your achievements, your healthiness, and I think it's just the confidence that men should have in themselves. So the confidence level, all puts anyone on the top tier level. What makes him top tier? Well, first is my belief that I am him, that I am a catch, a man that you should be with, or a man that you should marry, and to have a lot of top tier kids.
I feel like that was a corporate answer.
Yeah, I mean, that was a correct answer. You know what I mean? It's about.
I feel like I needed more elaborations. Like, I know it's not about the money, but if all I gotta do is think I'm a top tier man, and then I'm a top tier man, you're gonna have a lot of guys out here with their head blown up thinking they're top tier man, and they're like, that's like saying like a person can sing a rap, and as long as they could believe that they could sing a rap, they're good at it. That doesn't, so. Well, like, if you had to give like a number one attribute that makes a man a top tier man, if you're saying it's not finance, what is it?
It would be achievements.
So as long as he's accomplished, he's top tier.
Definitely.
Okay. What have you accomplished?
I accomplished a lot in my life, man. Obstacles that I've went through, school. I accomplished this goal of mine of becoming an aircraft mechanic. Because you got to understand, in this particular profession, man, is we're a very small percentage of Black aircraft mechanics. You know what I mean? So I think I stepped into an industry field where it's very little of us. The schooling is very long. And it's mechanical, man. It's hard to put these pieces together and to make a big, beautiful engine fly. You know what I mean? A plane fly. So, but I
could make a plane fly. I could build an airplane, Lego airplane set. Saw that Amazon.
Oh yeah.
You could do the Lego airplanes. Would I be considered an airplane mechanic? A Lego airplane mechanic?
Nah, you wouldn't be considered that. No.
Would you consider me your friend?
No, I wouldn't consider you my friend.
Okay. So what's a top tier woman?
A top tier woman is an accomplished woman who's achieved a lot of things. It's basically the same in reverse. You know what I mean? And a top tier woman can have multiple kids, right?
If you have multiple from a different man, that disqualifies yourself.
So it disqualifies a top tier woman from getting a top
That's
tier
exactly
man
right. Why? Because there's billions of women on this planet.
I think the foundation of it is you believing that you are top tier. A lot of people don't believe that, believe it or not. But I think it's just your accomplishments, becoming successful in your spirituality, in your career. But most of all, man, in how you treat other people. I think that's a big one as well. How you treat other people, it makes you top tier.
So what if she's very accomplished and she treat other people well, but she got like 4 baby daddies from 4,
Well, I mean, that's up to whoever is trying to date her or whoever is judging her. But I think that
but she would be top tier to you because she's accomplished and she still is treat people nicely.
If you said treating the people nicely or not treating them nicely, which one?
Treating them nicely, and she's accomplished, but she got 4 baby daddies, so she would still be considered top tier then.
She would still be considered top tier, yeah.
So then all the women on the other episode, the first one you were on, would be considered top tier if they were accomplished and treat people nicely.
They would be. Yeah. They would be. I'm not gonna be superficial and say, oh, since you got 3 kids, you're not top tier. That doesn't even make any sense. You know what I mean? So, And I was just speaking for myself, that me being top tier. So I never said, look, you women aren't top tier, y'all bottom tier. I never said that, and I never will say that.
All right. So how do you feel about women like having like male best friends?
It depends. Are the men straight, or are they gay? Because
They're straight. They're like they're like you and I. Well, at least you.
I think that's a tough situation, because there's really no such thing. There's really no such thing as a best friend when it comes to the opposite sex. So
What about just a friend then? What if he's a male friend? Let's take away best friend.
I think it's possible. Yeah, it's possible. You got to understand, a lot of that comes with trusting your partner, man. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of that has to do with that. Because you got to understand, they could have grown up together. They could have went to elementary school. They could have went to college together. They could have, so there are situations to where, yes, you have a man and a woman who could be friends. And
you would agree that you're pretty understanding then.
I'm pretty understanding. I would agree.
So as long as she can have like 4 or 5 good male friends, and you'd be pretty cool with that.
I wouldn't be cool with that. No. If anything,
okay, maybe just one.
Yeah, maybe just one. That's fine. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I'm gonna trust whoever I'm with. That's the
so
whole.
Maybe you don't trust. It's not that you don't trust her. Maybe you just don't trust him.
Well, that's true too. You know what I mean? That's true too.
Maybe it got nothing to do with her.
Right. But
so what do you do?
I think you just you be aware. You have awareness of that particular situation. Now, let's say they talking to each other a little too often, then that's something different. You know what I mean? But every once in a while, you can tell the difference, man. So I'm secure in who I am.
Like, how often can she talk to him? How many times a year? There's 12 months.
I would say, man, I wouldn't put a number on it. You know what I mean?
There has to be, because one too many is too many.
All right. That's true. I would say at least, you talking to somebody 3 to 5 times a year, that might be something else. But it's just hard to say that. It's hard to draw that line between male and female being friends when both of them have partners. You know what I mean?
But what if the male don't have a partner? What if he's just a single man and he's good looking and he's taller than 5'7"?
Then that probably wouldn't be a friend situation. That probably would be somebody who's just trying to stay in the loop, and to get his chance whenever he can. So, yeah, that wouldn't.
Is he trying to get his chance because he's good looking, or because he's over 5'7"?
Probably neither. Probably just because he want her. You know what I mean? So, I think that's what a lot of men actually do too. So.
Have you done it before?
I have.
Me too.
Stayed in the loop. Yeah.
I stayed in the loop a lot too. I'm a looper.
I stayed in the loop, man. You know what I mean? Just to kind of see what happens. And
but you made it seem like y'all was just friends.
Well, it was already understood that we're just friends, but it's also understood that I would want her as well. You know what I mean? So, and that's why it was a good question when you asked about how many times a year can somebody talk to each other, because a woman know how to keep that guy in the friend zone. So, but the same way, men know how to keep women in the friend zone as well. It's just not one way.
So, would you consider us friends now?
I won't.
So you guys had we had a session where there was some comments that were made on the YouTube, and we want to play some of the comments for you, and we want to call it "Y'all Gonna Get It Today" clap back. So this will give you an opportunity to clap back at some of the comments that were made to you, and help redeem yourself in some of the comments, because people said some pretty ruthless things, and
definitely,
like you said, comments are a big thing. Maybe this will give you a chance to kind of redeem some of that.
All right.
You scared?
No, I'm not.
Okay. All right. Y'all gonna get it today, clap
Y'all
back.
gonna get it today, clap back. Yeah, I like that.
All right. First comment says, you didn't find love and you wrote a book about finding love. Make it make sense.
Do you know how many likes that one got by any chance?
I think it was like over 3,000.
Over 3,000? Okay. Oh, I actually love that comment. You know why? Because she's talking about the book. So I don't care what they talking about, but talk about the product that I put out. But you don't make every shot you take, man. You know what I mean? You don't get every job you apply for. So that's how I would make that make sense.
That's it?
That's it. That's it.
Interesting answer. Next question or next comment. Bryan the type of guy to wake up his girl and tell her he going to sleep first.
Bruh, that's crazy. That's kind of crazy. That's totally false. Why would I wake my girl up just to tell her I'm going to sleep? That is very comical. That is very comical. I don't even know.
You wouldn't wake her up and be like, hey, wake up. I'm going to sleep first. You wait for me. I don't wait for you.
Oh, no. Okay. Because I was getting ready to ask you to break it down. I don't even understand the comment, but no, I definitely wouldn't wake my girl up to tell her, hey, I'm going to sleep first or I'm going to sleep. No.
So what would you do if you fall asleep first?
Huh?
What would you do if you fall asleep first?
Then I'm sleeping. I'm out.
So she's safe to fall asleep after you then.
She's definitely safe to fall asleep after me. Yeah.
Okay. Next comment.
Or before me, whatever,
He couldn't even reach the top shelf talking about top tier.
Wow. I couldn't reach the top shelf. That's funny, man. Because I feel like I'm top tier and top shelf. And they know it. That's why they making those type of comments. They know I'm top tier. So, people want to bring you down to their level. You got to understand a lot of people are on the bottom tier, man. They can't see past the middle. So
can you reach the shelf or no, Bryan?
I can reach the shelf, man. And if I don't reach the shelf, I'm going to get a step stool and I'm going to get on that step stool and I'm going to get whatever's on the top shelf that I need.
What if she needs something on the shelf that's a little bit higher than you and that the stool won't be able to accomplish it?
Well, hey, man, I'm going to have to put on my shoulders while I'm on the step stool, right? To help her reach it. But we going to get whatever we need off that top shelf.
Y'all going to get it together.
Y'all going to get it.
All right. I think this is the last one. I hope he finds the man of his dreams.
And that's what we're talking about again. That's the ultimate disrespect that you can tell a man. And mostly women who comment that, they're gay themselves. And mostly it's real, you know what I mean? Because why would you question a man's masculinity when you can see very clearly that he's not that way? So, but that's one of them type of issues, man. You know what I mean? One of those ultimate disrespectful issues. But
so that would be considered a disrespect because she questioned your that's questioning the masculinity about liking other guys.
Yeah, of course, man. Like, what is that? Who does that these days? You know what I mean? And
I like you. Do you like me?
And listen, they expect to say them type of things. They expect
I like you. Do you like me?
It depends on which way you calling like, bro. It's how you saying that. Do you ask me right after that type of comment that we was talking about? But you ain't slick, homie. It's just one of them type of things, man. I just find it funny, man. But you got to find the humor in everything, man. Like, you can't let people bring you down, man. And I've always learned that. I feel like I've grown from episode 15 and from episode 55, even though it was last week. I feel like I've grown.
That was last week.
I think it was last Wednesday or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's only been I think it's only been like 8 or 9 days or something like that.
I like to go to lounges I like to read. I like to write. I got a book out, The Perfect Match. I'm sure everybody know that already.
So you wrote a book, and it's called "What Are the 7 Steps to Finding True Love?" So I got a question.
There we go, right there.
I got a great question for you. You may not be able to answer this, but I'm gonna ask it anyways.
Mm-hmm.
What are the 7 steps to finding true love?
I really don't know. So this I really don't know the 7 steps to find true love. I mean, everybody have different steps. I mean, I think you have to just figure out what you want as an individual. You want trust, you want communication, you want transparency, you want love. That's 4 right there. It's really all about what are you looking for in a relationship. So it's not all
But
one.
your book is called "What Are the 7 Steps to Finding True Love?"
No, that's not what it's called. You're not reading it. It's called 7 Keys.
Hold it
to
up
Pop.
one more time for me.
It's called 7 Keys to Pop Your Balloon or Find Love.
Oh, so you would agree that I'm slightly dyslexic?
I wouldn't agree to that, but it's like, where are you getting the title from? You must not even checked out the book.
I checked it out. It's just on its way. It won't be here till Tuesday.
Oh, great, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate that support.
But
man.
I did just glance at it. So I was like, this looks like something like the 7 steps to finding true love. So that's what I figured I'd call it.
You just threw that up there.
Yeah.
Nah, it's called The Perfect Match, 7 Keys to Pop Your Balloon or Find Love. So it's giving you 7 insights or about either you're going to say no to this person or you're going to say yes to this person. So
what are the 7 insights?
I just named 4. You know what I mean? You want to look for transparency. You want to look for trustworthiness. You want to look for a person's character. You want to look for their spirituality. So you want to look for these particular things where it can make that person better and you better as an individual and you're in the relationship. So
yeah, there's a lot of comments that I didn't put in here, but a lot of comments insinuate that like you would like beat a woman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw some of those comments.
Would you consider yourself, if a woman ever came down to it, if she pissed you off far enough, would you beat the hell out of her?
No, for sure. Definitely not, man. I don't put my hands on women, bro. Never have. I'm not gonna go and I got too many sisters, man. I have a mother, I have a daughter, so that's not gonna happen.
So like, what's the worst thing that you could do? What's the worst thing that you would do in like a situation that you're not agreeing with a woman?
The worst thing I would do? I mean, keep arguing. Keep arguing.
Yelling? Would you yell at her?
No, yelling, no. No. I think when you start to yell, you start to lose control. And I'm not the type to yell.
So you would agree you never yelled at a woman before?
I would agree. I never yelled at a woman before.
So like, what were you're 41. What are like, why are you single? You seem like a pretty stand-up guy. What are some of the things that women are saying that they just couldn't do it no more? They left.
Well, I think I left most of the relationships. It was no longer serving me. A lot of times, like, the men always have to bear it all in a relationship. Men tend to date down. I think a lot of times I have dated down, and I just don't want to date down anymore. I want to date on my level or higher. So I think that's where I am with it right now. As far as being single now, the dating pool, just like I say in my book, man, the dating pool has urine in it right now. So it's kind of bad right now. But hopefully, with the success of the show, Pop the Balloon, I will find my match. My DMs are crazy right now. And I believe that, it's gonna come sooner than later.
So your goal is to still get married?
Definitely, man. Yeah, definitely, man. I think marriage is a beautiful thing. I've never been married. I only have one daughter, so I want more kids, but I want them to be for my wife. But yeah, I do want to get married, man. I do believe that marriage is a beautiful thing. So
you would agree you're pretty traditional?
Yeah, I would think so. I would think I'm pretty traditional. But I I still do understand that, man, that there used to be an Old Testament and now there's a New Testament. So some things do have to change the way you look at relationship and love. Sometimes you can't be this soul traditional guy, and you can't be this such a modern guy to where it's so far away from being traditional. So, but I think, the traditional route is always going to be the foundation. It's just however you make it work for each other. So
good. So I got one more question for you, and you can answer this truthfully because I feel like most of the time you've been capping.
I think I know what it is, but go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think you know me that well.
Okay.
So, would you consider me and you friends?
Let's see. I would say at this point, we're getting there. We're getting there. I think the more and more episodes that we have on the podcast, I think that we can grow a friendship. And we can really come up with some good topics to talk about, and hopefully we can get some things trending online, man, but yeah. But very slightly.
So I grew an inch.
I would say so.
Good.
You look like,
because I'm 5'8". I'm only an inch taller than you.
Okay. No, are you serious about that, or are you just clowning?
I'm 5'9". I'm 2 inches.
Okay, that's cool. Do you ever have a problem with women ever telling you you're too short?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
I get it all the time.
I don't believe you.
I do.
I don't believe you. I don't believe a woman tell you I won't date you because you're 5'9". I don't believe you. I think you're just being funny.
Do I look like a funny guy?
You do look like a funny guy. You do look like a funny guy.
Most people tell me I'm funny looking, so I can't argue.
You're funny looking, huh?
Yeah, that's what they tell me. So yeah, I get it all the time. As a matter of fact, my woman tells me I'm short all the time. Always reminds me how short I am. So, man, every woman tells me that it's like, man, you're shorter than I usually date. And I'm like, well, to be fair, you're taller than what I usually date.
Right.
They don't like that.
Yeah, you give back that same energy, right? Yeah.
Women don't top tier.
Women don't like to feel tall, man. They don't like to feel tall. So that's probably why height is a deal breaker for them, because women don't want to feel tall.
But there's not a lot of guys who are 6 foot plus, though. There's like a very small pool of guys who are 6 foot plus.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I mean, how often do you see tall guys just walking around on a day-to-day basis? You don't see it. That's why when you see one, they kind of stand out.
Right.
Do you wish you were taller?
No. I don't wish I was taller. I just roll with it because it's never been an issue for me, man. You know what I mean? So it's not like it's an insecurity, man. On top of that, bro, conversation rule the nation. If you got a mouthpiece, it don't matter how you look. Money too. So, and I just so happen to have both.
And if tall people were so great, they'd all be married. But there's a lot of tall single people.
Yeah. So, I agree, and that's why I challenged the culture. That's why I highlighted it on the Pop the Balloon episode. What is this fixation y'all got with height? And you can tell none of them ever answered that question. So
my mom's taller than my stepdad, and she's 5'7".
Wow, man. He definitely a confident guy, huh?
He loves her, I think.
Yeah,
they're traditional.
Yeah.
Well, Bryan, thank you so much for coming on to the show, man. This was great, man. I hope that you were able to get all your responses out. Do you remember my name, or you just?
I do.
What is it?
It's Juming.
You're reading. Look me in my eyes, Bryan.
It's Jay. That's what we gonna call you, Jay.
Yeah, Justin, it cost me the same thing. It's Juming.
Juming, okay.
Juming, yeah, Juming, yeah.
Juming.
Just remember that when I send you text messages, and when I send you text messages, try to respond to them. I don't do well with people ignoring my texts, so.
Oh yeah.
Especially being a top tier guy. So
I got you.
Being polite is one of the top tier qualities in your book. So being polite.
Yeah, definitely being polite, man, and being kind.
Thank you for being here and listening. Subscribe to the vibes, send your support or oppositions in. I'm just here to listen in. Podcast here for the repositioning, reclaiming black entertainment, exhibitioning, transitioning to more informative news, mentioning celebs, who's sleeping with who's is not what we soliciting. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening.